Hey there, everybody. I'm CCB Dolan here with CCB Fozzie, bringing you the 11th match of Day 1 of the New Eden Open 2. We Can't Afford This in red versus Rampage in blue. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the teams that they've shown up with today?
All right, so we have a lot of drones again, a lot of Ishtars this time. So We Can't Afford This in red has brought triple Ishtars, Guardian, Celestis, Triple Vengeance, versus Rampage with EOS, double Ishtar, Vexor Navy, Vexor, and double Inquisitor. Another case of the double Inquisitor being used. Again, I think it's a really good thing to bring, especially against these kind of sentry teams that are going to have trouble tracking it. It's going to be really hard to tell who's going to take this match ahead of time. The Rampage team is all warped in at max range to the beacon, while the We Can't Afford This team has warped in generally closer, with only their Guardian Celestis at max range, the rest spread out as close as 20 kilometers.
Yeah, exactly. And I really like these Inquisitors for especially these kitey
Yes.
drone teams. So do you know how far an Inquisitor can rep? What's its rep range?
It's about 25 kilometers or so, 26 kilometers.
Okay, so they can sort of split up, spread a little bit out, be a little bit quicker than the other logistics cruisers, for instance.
Yep.
Really provide a lot of mobile power there.
Yeah, I mean, they're really, really handy ships for that kind of thing. You'll generally want to keep them like orbiting each other or something so they stay within range, and you want to avoid damping. But they'll be able to keep up with these Ishtars no matter how fast they move. And we're seeing damage being applied to the Vengeances on We Can't Afford This. Vengeances, of course, have an amazing tank. They're a really great tackling ship. And if they can clear those off, Rampage will be able to then keep their distance effectively. The Vengeances are going to be what's tackling their team.
And you can see them there chewing away at that Vexor. They're slowly, it looks like they might be beating these reps, but as those damps fall on the Inquisitors, perhaps the other Inquisitor will be able to apply its reps. And they've already switched targets to a different Ishtar. So the Ishtar that was being primary pulled far enough away, started losing damage, so they've swapped onto a closer Ishtar.
We're seeing excellent piloting by both teams here. They're basically dancing with each other. They've got their drones dropped. We've got bouncers coming from the We Can't Afford This team, and guards short range from the Rampage team. The Rampage team actually charged in, dropped guards, and then pulled back. And they're basically using that to move in and out, get out of the range of the close range drones from the other team, move in close if the other team drops in long range drones, and they're actually reacting to the drones being dropped by the other team.
What song would you say they're dancing to? Is it Girls Just Want to Have Fun?
I think that would be a great song to dance to right now.
And you also can just inform us. So this is actually very strange. I think both of them are just trying to catch something out.
Yeah.
They really don't want to get involved in a full-out brawl because they're not really sure which team has the actual stronger brawling setup. Obviously, much more damage on the Rampage side, but they don't have nearly as much active tank.
Yeah, I mean...
Or control.
Yeah, the Guardian for We Can't Afford This is going to be the target the Rampage is trying to get. They're going to try to move around the outside a little bit, get on top of them, but that Guardian is staying in perfect position. He's always keeping the rest of his team in between him and the other team, using them as a shield if they're going to have to move right through all those Ishtars and Vengeances to have a chance to get to him.
Yep, exactly. And you can just see here, no tackle coming down on either side here. Nobody's really willing to make a move in. The Rampage team really quick on their reps. As soon as they start taking armor, those reps are landing almost immediately. We see a target painter falling in the Inquisitor. Maybe they're going to try and take a shot here as the Inquisitor attempts to make a turn.
Yeah.
But it's really just coming down to, I think that they just have to catch one of these Inquisitors out, catch them in a turn, for instance, low, transversal, and try and pop one.
That very well may be one way to do it, although with Afterburners it is going to be very hard. What we're actually seeing now is some Hammerheads being dropped by the We Can't Afford This team, potentially by the Celestis, but those kind of drones would actually have a bit of a better time hitting some of these targets. The one other kind of vulnerability for Rampage is that EOS is a lot slower than the rest of the team, and so if they keep moving, their Inquisitors are going to be well out of range of the EOS, and so he may actually be a bit vulnerable, although he does have the best tank on the team, so they may be using that as bait.
Yep, you can see here cross reps coming across between these Inquisitors. One Inquisitor potentially damped out of range of the other, so they're going to have to move a little bit closer here. Really just a dancing game right here, trying to get a good position on the other. It's really just down to who can move the other person into the spot they want. This isn't just two groups just moving randomly. They're each trying to corral the other person to a proper position to attack.
No, what we're actually seeing right now is that effectively the Rampage team is trying to pull the We Can't Afford This team into their guards. They've dropped a bunch of short-range drones, and then they've pulled back and are trying to keep themselves aligned so that the guards are always between them and the other team, hoping that the other team will move in, get within optimal range of these guards, and then get shredded. But We Can't Afford This is smart enough not to do that.
Yep.
This is really what you often see with two very skilled teams, is that not a lot will happen until someone makes a mistake. They're waiting for an opportunity.
And they're two teams that know how each other play potentially very well. They may have practiced together, and they just know that one team might think, oh, if we wait it out, we've always waited it out in the past, they'll get impatient and make a move here.
Yeah, at this point, this could really go either way.
Ultimately, the strength is on the Rampage side if they push it super late, if nobody's willing to make a move.
That Celeste is taking a fair bit of damage. If that goes down, that could take a lot of the damping pressure off the Inquisitors. Celeste, as we can afford this, dropping into low armor. He's got reps on him now, but it looks like he's taking all the damage at this point.
He needs to be taking some overheat here.
Yeah,
nope.
he is way too close,
He is not
I think.
holding it. He's going to drop here.
Yep. There you go. He is down, so that is a big first kill for Rampage. That's going to take a lot of damping power off of the Inquisitors. Obviously, there is still some damps on them, probably coming from the Ishtars or the Vengeances, but that's going to make it a lot easier for them now to keep their reps on.
Well, even without the damping power, they've set themselves up now where they have the points lead.
Yep.
They really, we can't afford this, has to act. They can't just sit back now. They have to come across the field and engage with Rampage, which is exactly what they don't want to be doing.
And as we said before, when you have two teams that are both kind of keeping their range, often the team that moves in is the one that's going to be in the most danger. And we're seeing We Can't Afford This doing that now. They've realized they need to act, and what they're actually doing is they're trying to move as that Ishtar gets alpha'd. Wow. That's what happens when they got too close to the guards. I was going to say, they're moving right past the guard twos right now. This is exactly what Rampage wanted them to do. The second Ishtar dropping super quickly. Oli Roboto there is also really close. These Ishtars are, there it goes.
Yep, and that's going to be, this is going to be a complete wipe here. Just the Celestis got a little bit out of position, forced We Can't Afford This hands. They had to make a move, and they took a risk, a very low percentage chance of them winning at that point, came across the field and got wrecked for it.
And they just came in close to that big ball of guard twos, and look at them. Wow, those Ishtars dropped fast. Even with the Guardian up, and the Guardian not being damped, it still just had no way of taking all that damage.
Well, you can see the huge attack bar there for Rampage. It's obvious they have a ton of damage. Drone damage amplifiers coming in. Just base damages on all those Vexers. Just completely wrecking. You can't come in on those guards like that.
Yep, and so at this point, killing the Vengeances and the Guardian may actually be a bit of a trick, because the Guardian's keeping his range at the moment, but this match is essentially over. The Vengeances are going down their area. Yeah, they just can't take the damage when they've got all those target painters on them and the guards tracking them, and they'll go down in no time at all. And this match is just a matter of time. So Rampage, members of the team that won the 10th Alliance tournament, you see a lot of those members. God's Coldblood was there, NSA Beavis, War God, Starfleet Commander, their captain. All of these are very experienced tournament pilots who did very well in the Alliance Tournament 11 as well. And a very, very strong group.
And won almost entirely on their control. They're just having strong control, being able to outweight the other team, play against very strong setups like Hun's Varger tank setup.
Good use of E-War like tracking disruptors.
Yep, exactly. And you can see here they're coming in, trying to pick off this last Vengeance and this Guardian, trying to close things out with another strong, perfect finish, which will be our 4th or 5th for the day.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of very dominant performances. This one definitely looked like it could have gone either way, but it's very clear here that Rampage played this just about perfectly.
And this is something we see typically in the first couple days of the tournaments. We'll get a couple matches where it's two excellent teams paired up against each other. This is an example of that, but often we'll see complete wipes as teams are sorting themselves out in the power ranking, or just warming up into a tournament setting.
Yep.
Obviously, no matter how much you practice, there's always that extra live atmosphere where it's just so intense, so much adrenaline. You're concerned with just even the smallest mistake in the tournament setups like these. Even the smallest mistake by a single pilot can throw the whole match for your team. And which is sort of what we saw here. I hate to put the blame on someone, but the Celestis got out of position, got caught, and got taken down. And may have lost the match for their team.
Yeah, I mean, the case of this, where you have pilots from Hacks who may not have a lot of tournament experience, but obviously are good pilots themselves, it really just comes down to practice, and this is going to be a good learning experience for them.
Yep, exactly.
They're going to be moving on to the losers bracket, and then they'll also take this experience to other tournaments as well. And teams especially look at the teams like Hun that are just dominant because they have so much practice. Good pilots that have done so much in the tournament. PL is a similar way, and Hydra.
Now, if I was going to drop into the losers bracket, if I had to pick a match where I didn't want to play the losers, it would be the match Last Huzzah versus Reputation Cartel.
I don't actually think that's the way we're running the losers bracket. I think we're alternating it across for that, which is good for them, yes. We'll have to take a look a little bit later. But yes, going up against Last Huzzah or Reputation Cartel would be pretty rough in the losers bracket. At this point, there's 1 minute left. The Guardian and the Vengeance are just basically keeping their range, just going to try to keep those ships alive. And then we're just going to have a very solid win for Rampage. On the other hand, the Rampage will face the winner of our next match, which is the Last Huzzah Reputation Cartel. Another two very experienced tournament teams. So that'll be a great match to see tomorrow.
How much do you believe in the existence of a Reputation Cartel?
Oh, I mean, I think it's the shadowy pulling the strings behind everything. Yeah, it's the one true cartel in EVE Online.
Exactly, exactly. No others. It only controls how much plus rip I have on Fail Leap Challenge, which is actually the most important statistic in all of EVE Online.
Yeah, it's actually how we decide who wins this tournament. It turns out, this is a bit of a facade that we're just putting in front of your eyes.
So with 20 seconds left in the match, I hope our backstage tournament team have been working really hard to get the video of you dancing to Girls Just Want to Have Fun up and prepped for our next studio segment. But I'm surely looking forward to it. I've seen a small preview. It's quite impressive. I think it might change some people's views on life in general.
I think my dancing has a tendency to do that, yes.
Well, with time up, that's going to be a win for Rampage, and we can afford this. Drops down to the losers bracket. We're going to see you in just a couple seconds.